Okay, here we have lesson 3, compare and order integers. Right, we're down lesson 3, compare and order integers at the top of your page. It doesn't hurt to write the date as well, just to help you keep everything in order. And then remember, this should go right after the 5-2 worksheet that you did. So the next thing that you're going to see is your 5-3 lesson notes, and then after that we'll put in your 5-3 worksheet in class tomorrow. Okay, what are two scenarios, which means situations, that you would compare integers? Let's remember what an integer is. An integer is a whole number, or it's a number that's above 0 or a number that's below 0. Okay, so what are two situations where you would compare a number that's above 0 and a number that's below 0? I want you to think about that and write them down for me, okay? And put them in your notes. And we'll talk about them tomorrow. See what you guys come up with, some ideas. All right, here's an example. Fairbanks, Alaska. All right, it's located, Fairbanks is located in Alaska, and the average temperature for several months is shown here on the thermometer. The average temperature for December is, so we see November, we see December, or February, and we see January. Now in the first problem, they tell us that the temperature for December is negative 6.5 degrees Fahrenheit. It's pretty chilly. And the average temperature for March is 11 degrees Fahrenheit. Label December and March on the thermometer, okay? So negative 6.5 degrees. Right, let's think about where that would be. Here's 0 and here's 10. Here's 5, so negative 6.5 would be about right there. And that would be for the month of December, right? And then the month of March is 11 degrees. Whoa, it's really heating up here. It's about right there. So March is 11 degrees. All right? Which month has a greater average temperature than February? Which months do? Right? You can see that what's greater than negative 4? Well, 3 degrees is greater. And the November and March are both warmer than February. And which months are colder than November? Well, colder than November would be February and January and December. Just like here, pretty much, right, guys? So here's a situation where we might use integers, and we compare them. I'm going to slide this up a little bit. To compare integers, you can look at the signs and just think about how big they are and what those numbers mean. The other thing you can do is look at the number line. So if we compare the signs, like here, if we compare the signs like right here, we would say, we think about, well, would I have negative 3 or 5? Would I rather have negative $3 or would I rather have $5? Do you want to owe me money, which is negative 3, you're that much overdrawn in your bank account, or do you want to have $5 in your piggy bank? Well, so $5 is greater in value than negative 3. The other way we can do it is we can look at it on a number line, and we can plot the numbers. So negative 3 is here, and 5 is here. Well, any of the numbers to the left are going to be smaller. So those are going to be the smaller numbers, okay? And remember with our arrows, with our greater than and less than arrows, that the smaller part of the arrow is pointed to the smaller number, and the larger part of the arrow is pointed towards the larger number, okay? Let's look at an example. So in your homework, it'll look something like this. Fill in the blank with less than, greater than, or equal to make a true statement. So 12 blank negative 4. Which one is greater? Would you rather have, I always think in terms of money, honey, would you rather have $12 or negative $4? Well, certainly that is greater. So we can just think of it in terms of value, or we can look on a number line, and here's 0, and here's 5, and here's 10. Oops, I'm going to make my line just a little bit longer. Here's 10, and about right here would be 12, and here would be 20, right? Okay, and over here we have negative 10, excuse me, negative 5, and here we have negative 10, and here, about right here, would be negative 4. So because negative 4 is to the left, that means that 12 is going to be greater than negative 4. Notice the small part of the arrow is pointing to the number that has less value, and the big part of the arrow is pointing to the number that has greater value. That's pretty easy. Here are a few practices, 3 practices for you. If you'll write these down on your paper, write down the entire problem. You're going to have to write negative 3 something 5 and fill in the blank. You can't just put the arrows because I won't know what you're referring to. The numbers are part of the answer. So write those down, please. Go ahead and do those 3. Pause your video. Get them done, and then start them back up. Take your time. Be nice and neat. Here's a real-world problem that we could look at. Justin has a score of negative 4 on the Trueville trivia game. Desiree's score is negative 5. Write an inequality to compare the scores. And then explain the meaning of the inequality. Okay, so Justin's score, right, is negative 4. And Desiree's score is negative 5. All right, let's think about that on a number line. Right? Here's 0, here's negative 1, here's negative 2, negative 3, negative 4, negative 5, negative 6. Well, we'll put Justin's negative 4 in blue, right? And we'll put Desiree's negative 5 in green, all right? Now, can you write an inequality? Let's write an inequality. We can say that negative 5 is less than negative 4. Why can we say that? Because it's further to the left on the number line, all right? And if you want to think of it in terms of value, would you rather owe me $4 or would you rather owe me $5? Right? How much do you want to be in debt? Okay, so negative 5 is less value than negative 4. Okay, and what does that mean? So explain the meaning in terms of the game. Well, the game, it means that, what does that, it means that Justin missed 4, I would say, and Desiree missed 5 problems. Okay, here's one for you to think about and try. The temperature on Tuesday. Pause the video, read the problem carefully, see if you can write an inequality to compare the temperatures and explain the meaning of the inequality. Stop your video, do the work, and then start it back up when you're ready. You can also use a number line to order a group of integers. You may have more than, oops, sorry guys, that was a little crazy. Let's try that again. Stop that. Let's try that. There we go. You may have several numbers to order from least to greatest, or you might, so be careful. It could either be from least to greatest, or it could be from greatest to least. For example, order the set of numbers negative 9, 6, negative 3, and 0 from least to greatest. Now, if I'm one of those guys that reads carelessly, I would be circling those numbers to know which order I'm going to do. We're going to go the smallest first. So I think what I'll do is go ahead and make my number line. 0, well 0 is one of my numbers, so I'm going to put it there. And then 1, 2, 3, negative 3, right? Actually, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to see if I can't put a number line up here. Nope, that was the one I wanted. Okay, maybe not. Forget that idea, guys. I'll make my own number line. Okay, so let's try this again. So here's 0, negative 1, negative 2, negative 3, negative 4, negative 5, negative 6, 7, negative 8, negative 9, and 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, so we have 0 as one of our numbers, we have negative 3 as one of our numbers, we have 6 as one of our numbers, and we have negative 9 as one of our numbers. Now we are supposed to order them least to greatest. Okay, least. It's my smallest, least valued number. Negative 9 is my least valued number. And then what? That's right, negative 3. It's the next furthest left. And then 0, and then 6. And that would be the answer to the problem. Okay? Okay, here's your turn. Here are 2 problems for you. E and F. Pay attention to the words of this problem and see if you get it right. Pause your video and then start it back up when you're ready. Well, there's a pretty blank page, I think. Guys, isn't this cool? This is your last page. So if you finish these 2 problems, you're all set. I'll see you in class tomorrow.